Hello everyone, my name is Lori Porras and this video is on cardiovascular fitness, where I'll be showing you the protocols for both the submaximal 1 mile jog test and the 1 mile Rockport walking test for measuring your VO2 max. For both of these assessments, you will need a stopwatch, a 400-meter track, and a pen and paper to write down your values, and for calculations, a calculator. A heart rate monitor can be used, but it is optional. For the beginning of the submaximal 1 mile jogging test, this assessment is for the sole purpose of 18 to 29-year-old male and female who are sedentary and require only moderate steady state exercise. Before beginning the 1 mile jog test, make sure you have warmed up for 2 to 3 minutes. You may do warm-up stretching, but be sure to include a jogging warm-up. This is to ensure that a good pace is established once testing has begun. After the warm-up has been completed, the test may be started by starting your stopwatch and jogging while keeping a good pace, not too fast or too slow. Since the track is 400 meters, 4 complete laps around the track will equal 1 mile. The elapsed time that the mile will be accepted for the 1 mile jog test is 8 minutes for men and 9 minutes for women, where the heart rate will not exceed 180 beats per minute. It should be noted that this is a submaximal test, meaning full effort should not be exerted. Once you're finished with the mile, your heart rate should be taken immediately. If a heart rate monitor is not being used, make sure you take your pulse at either the carotid artery, located on the side of the neck, or at the radial artery, located at the same side as the thumb near the wrist. Be sure to use your index and middle fingers to palpate your pulse and not your thumb, since your thumb has its own pulse. In order to obtain your heart rate, you will need to count the number of beats for 15 seconds, then multiply that number by 4 to get the correct number of beats per minute. Then write down your values for your heart rate in beats per minute, time, age, gender, and weight on your paper. For the 1 mile Rockport walking test, this test is to be conducted for men and women between the ages of 20 to 69. This test is useful for older sedentary individuals. Make sure you have warmed up for 5 to 10 minutes prior to walking the test. Once the warm-up has been completed, you may begin with the walking test. Remember, this walking test should be conducted by walking in the fastest manner possible. Upon completion, take the heart rate immediately using the same techniques as mentioned previously. If there is no heart rate monitor, as stated previously, you will count the beats for 15 seconds, then multiply that number by 4 to obtain your beats per minute. The following equations are for calculating the VO2 max from each test respectively. Before inputting values to calculate the heart rate, make sure the total amount of seconds has been converted into minutes by dividing by 60. For example, if my time was 9 minutes and 5 seconds, I would divide the 5 seconds by 60 to get the decimal I'm looking for, which is 9.083 minutes. Before using the 1 mile jog equation, be sure to convert your weight in pounds to kilograms. This can be established by dividing your weight in pounds by 2.2. For example, I weigh 145 pounds, therefore I will divide 145 by 2.2 and it will give me 65.9 kilograms. Make sure to use the order of operations procedure when doing each of these equations. For gender purposes, 1 is for males and 0 is for females. Here is a chart where I wrote down my values and formula at the bottom for the 1 mile jog test. The second equation is filled in with my values and is an example of how to plug in your values into an equation to obtain your calculated VO2 max. The next equation is for the 1 mile walk. Just like the previous equation, you would plug in your numbers to calculate and obtain your VO2 max. These are the protocols and equations for the submaximal 1 mile jog test and Rockport walking test.